Right, are we going? Hang on. Lost the table. Right, something just happened just now, right? I go into the loo, okay, to do a wee, and I suddenly realise there's just 2 sheets left. I'm like, oh, bugger. So I made my way out to the cupboard in the hall where I keep like all of the loo rolls, you know, my air raid shelter thing. And there's a big packet of loo rolls, and you know you have to manoeuvre yourself into that cupboard because it's really like wee. So I manoeuvre myself into the cupboard, you imagine it, and I grab hold of the loo rolls with this hand. This hand I'm hanging on to the side, right? And then I'm like, aha, got the loo rolls, excellent. And then suddenly I realise, shit, I don't know where my feet are. And of course I'm looking up at the loo rolls, and I think, okay, I can take my eye off the toilet rolls. Okay, I'm holding them up with 2 hands, right? Looking up with these toilet rolls. My feet are sort of like sideways on, sort of kind of like that. Kind of, I guess. I don't know, because I can't feel them. And I think, okay, what should I do here? Should I put the loo rolls back? And I've just like spent like 3 minutes trying to get them out, at least. 3 minutes, honestly. Like I haven't got all day. But anyway, I thought, okay, should I put the loo rolls back in, and then I can put a hand to steady myself, and then I can look down on my feet to see where my feet are, and then decide how to move them. But then I thought, now the problem is, then I have to get the loo rolls again, and I'll be in the same position. So I thought, no, somehow I've got to put my head down, see my feet, while still holding the loo rolls, right? And then decide which foot is optimal to move first. Bloody hell. It was like, the initial program doesn't work, right? Okay, my feet don't know what they're doing, and I just have no idea. I don't know what they're doing, and they don't know what they're doing, and there's some sort of like blue screen, I don't know, happening in my head. But I know I've got to get these loo rolls out, okay? So I managed to somehow or the other, I think I held on to the loo rolls, I manoeuvred one foot, then I manoeuvred another, then the loo rolls came down, and then me and the loo rolls sort of like very carefully backed out whilst looking at the floor and my feet and hanging onto the door frame at the same time. It was like manoeuvring an articulated lorry out of a tiny alleyway onto the fast lane of the motorway. It took forever, by which time I was like, I'm going to die if I don't do a wee in 1 second. Right, thank God I've got these toilet rolls. And I just managed to make it with like 10 seconds to spare. And I was thinking to myself, because I was just listening before to this, I can't think what his name is, something Bark. He's like this brainy East German scientist guy, and he was talking about, it's so easy to walk, it's like the easiest thing in the world. And I was like, no, it's not. But obviously he was just talking like, in general for humans, but for me it's not. And each time it's not, and I don't learn because of the MS. I don't relearn how you do it like toddlers do. They just learn incrementally as they go, and it doesn't take too many cycles before they can actually walk. But for me, every time it's back to the drawing board. So I'm not just applying first principles, first order thinking here, what's the best thing to do. I'm also having to apply second order thinking, like, would it be better to actually put those back rather than actually worry about the feet? Do you see what I mean? So I'm not worried about even first and second, but the initial program before the first, this is a very bad use of fingers, but it's like the initial like zero order, the program of how feet move inside a small cupboard whilst holding toilet rolls, that's gone wonky and blue screen. Then first order can't quite decide what to do, and then second order has to decide, this is what we're going to try to do, and it has to kind of send a signal back to the program saying, I don't know, Control Alt Delete or something, and then we set off again, and then somehow it works. And I was just thinking, because as like that guy, what's he called? Joshua Bark, something. He said, no, it's very easy, dreams walking, we only have to do it a few iterations, very few hundreds of times, and the child is able to walk, very simple. And I thought, well, since I've been about 15, I've had to redo this zero order, whatever that is, feeling, thinking, and then first order and second order thinking, even just things about walking. I mean, forget every single other physical thing I do that as well with every other single physical thing I do. So that happens to me constantly. And I thought, what about this? Is this why I have such vivid dreams of such bizarre things that happen to me, and such convoluted stories and weird things that I have to do, and bizarre people who are in the way, and some are helping me and some aren't, and we have to do something, and the stories of the giant crockery and the weird tiny villages, and that pub I always go to, and that weird poker room I always end up at, and a million other dreams. They're all in my diaries if I ever die and you want to see them. That's where they are. They're in my diaries, so I don't just chuck them out. Hard to read, but I'm sure you'll be able to get it. Is that why? Because I have to keep doing reboot, first order, second order, even for the simplest of things, i.e. backing out of a cupboard holding toilet rolls? Is that why I dream so much? Dunno. I get a very bad feeling. I might have to read something very hard. Oh well, never mind, it could be worse. Doodle pips.